Hi everyone, I hope you're ready for more laser cutting action. Comments from the previous video overwhelmingly asked if this 2.5 watt laser diode can cut acrylic. Today we're going to answer that question, and unlike paper, cardboard, balsa, the 3mm plywood proved to be the upper limits of what this laser can cut. Now we get to try 3mm acrylic in the colours blue, green, orange and black. Spoiler alert, I've already cut a couple of 20mm squares out of this black acrylic, but the fumes released from cutting this were unbearable. So I'm going to move the hypercube outside and we'll see how the laser performs. Set up outside, I have the SD card with the squares that we're going to cut out of the acrylic. Don't forget to wear your safety glasses, of course. We'll start with the black acrylic, using the same parameters that I used to cut the 3mm plywood. That is 16 passes at 10mm a second. Glasses on. Zero the laser and press print. Okay, let's see the result. Just through on this side. Does that push out? Almost. We have 3mm of thickness here. I'll try raising the bed 1mm every few rotations to see if we can get the focal point lining up with the depth of the cut in the acrylic. Alright, this time I'll only be doing 8 passes, but at 5mm a second instead of 10. But I'll be lowering the Z platform so the focal point will be embedding into the 3mm acrylic. Okay, let's check the result. Cut it right next to that other square. Looking at the rear, look at that, it's virtually through now. Just pushing that on this side. Done. Now let's try blue. Check the result. Oh no, it didn't make it through. Bummer. Okay, that was blue. Let's try green. Let's check the green outcome. Hasn't made it through either. So it seems these lighter colours, blue, green and I dare say orange, which I haven't cut yet, probably won't make it through like black did. So let me modify that G-code file. I'll double the amount of passes back up to 16 but maintain the slow speed of 5mm a second, and we'll see if we can make it through those lighter colours. Alright, let's finish with the green. Still hasn't made it through. That's disappointing. just like the blue and the green, it's only slightly cut through. It hasn't gone very deep. I'll try one more thing. I'll try reducing the speed down to as low as 2 millimeters per second as a last resort to see if we can cut through coloured acrylic. I'm just going to stop it here. It's completed 12 passes so far, and I can see the laser underneath the acrylic. And would you look at that? Zoom out. It's made it all the way through. So it's taken 2 millimeters a second. Just pushes out. It's taken 2 millimeters a second to cut through that. And we could probably do it with less layers. So that was 12 layers. We could probably do it in 10 layers, but we have to stick to a slow speed, such as 2 millimeters a second. Oh, that's great news. Well, let me try again with the green and the blue. Okay, 10 passes with the blue at 2 millimeters a second. Did not make it through. In fact, while this was cutting, I could see light coming through the bottom and reflecting off the aluminium plate. I think this blue acrylic, which probably matches or has a similar wavelength to the blue laser, it's either not absorbing or it's just passing straight through. So let's try the green now and see if we have any luck with that. Okay, last chance for green. 16 passes, 2 millimeters per second. Look at that! We're through! Almost. I can see light through there. Just can't push it out. It's going to need a little bit more than 16 passes, I think. It's strange that only these two y-axis lines have cut through and the x-axis hasn't. So this is the top section and this is the base. So these two vertical lines are cut through, but then along the bottom they're not cut at all. You could almost make out the imprint of where the line should be cut, but they're not all the way through. Okay, one last test with the black acrylic. I want to see how this behaves at 2 millimeters per second. Previously I had to cut 8 passes at 5 millimeters a second to make it through. At 2 millimeters we might be able to reduce the number of passes. So let's do another square print and test how many passes we need. Well, it's just finished 3 passes. It's about to do the 4th pass, and I can already see the laser has passed through the acrylic. So I'm going to stop that after 3 passes. Wind this back. And there it is. So only 3 passes with the black acrylic to make it through. Easy. So 3 passes with black and approximately 10 passes with the orange. And just before we start cutting other shapes out of the acrylic, I just want to go back to the plywood quickly, cutting that same square but at 2 millimeters per second, just to see how many passes we need to cut through plywood. Previously I was cutting quite fast, 10 millimeters per second, took 16 passes. Let's see how many passes we need at 2 millimeters per second. Well, this is the 3rd pass that's about to complete, and it's already through. So let me stop the laser and we'll check. Oh yeah, look at that. Straight through. Falls out on its own. So that was only 3 passes, but at 2 millimeters per second. Wow, looks like the 2.5 watt laser can cut plywood fairly easily after all. The laser's on its last pass. This is the 4th pass, and part of this cutout has started to lift. Okay, it's just finished. Took 46 minutes to complete. You can see it started to lift on this side. So that's probably affected the cut on the lower layers. Looking at the rear side though, it's through. Push it out. Oh yeah. What about these voids here? I can hear creaking. Ah, bugger. Broke it! No! In my haste to try to remove some of the wasted components of this frame, I accidentally snapped one of the supports leading to one of the arms in this mini quad. I could probably glue that back on, but I might just cut it again if I was going to use this. It looks like when we remove the waste that's left in components like this, it's probably best to remove the sticker first, as that's potentially still holding everything together. And by removing the sticker, you'll be able to see where the cut has made it all the way through and where it hasn't. So can you cut acrylic with a 2.5 watt laser diode? Yes, you can. However, it does take some practice to perfect the cuts, and having the acrylic lift halfway through is not very good for the layers below that need to be cut. I think that's the reason why some areas didn't cut all the way through. The part shifted as it was progressing through the passes. You also have to be mindful with the color. So with black, it cuts just as easily as plywood, 3 to 4 passes at 2 millimeters per second. The orange took about 10 passes at 2 millimeters a second, and the green about 16 passes, and that was only just on the vertical stripes. The blue, unfortunately, I was not able to cut. And I also tried to cut some semi-transparent red and semi-transparent grey. They also did not take the laser energy at all. The light just passed straight through. The only marks that you see on top of the transparent acrylic is because of the masking tape above melting. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and leave your comments down below. And a very special shout out to everyone on Patreon. It's your support which makes videos like this possible. Cheers.